William Davison is a senior analyst on Ethiopia for the International Crisis Group. He joins me now from Cambridge in the UK. William, EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell has urged both sides to pull back from a full-blown war. Do you think that this outbreak in fighting could lead to that?
There's definitely a risk that it leads to that. This fighting is partly the result of a failure to get a peace process off the ground on top of the continued political disagreements. And the danger is that, although it's not clear what the objectives of either side would be in a full-scale war, of course it's possible that this very serious outbreak of fighting we've seen around northern Amhara, southern Tigrayan Afar, that escalates and spreads into other areas. And at that point, it would be hard to prevent a return to all-out war.
What does this latest escalation mean for the humanitarian situation and aid that needs to be brought in?
It's very bad news. We have seen an increase during a truce this year. We've seen an increase in the food aid being delivered to Tigray. We haven't seen sufficient fuel being delivered. Now, with reports of the Tigray authorities confiscating fuel off WFP, we can imagine that there will be major difficulties in getting the required amount of fuel to the region. We will probably also see a reduction in food aid as well. And we haven't seen the federal government restore basic services to Tigray, banking, telecoms, and electricity, which is obviously a major constraint on economic activity and exacerbating a humanitarian crisis. So this return to conflict is very bad news for the civilians suffering.
What do you think it'll take for formal talks to occur to bring back a ceasefire or lasting peace?
At this stage, we need the key international actors, so the African Union, Kenya's government, the United States, the EU, to impress upon both the main parties here that these fresh hostilities need to cease, and there needs to be a renewed effort to come to the negotiating table and address all of their outstanding concerns and demands there. So far, we've seen the parties put up various obstacles to talks, and that has contributed to a return to fighting. So we need to see a more constructive and flexible attitude to actually get talks underway. It will be very hard to resolve the disagreements through those negotiations, but at least that should take us further away from a return to all-out war.
Yeah, do you think that it is possible to resolve differences in negotiations? Because we talk about there needs to be more of a constructive and flexible attitude. Is that even possible?
Well, of course, it's possible. I mean, I think some of these issues, there is the issue of Amhara region claiming and taking control of Western Tigray. That's completely rejected by Tigray's authorities. There's other very, very serious issues to resolve, and that's not going to happen overnight. But I think there is a far better chance of sustained peace if the parties try and at least address these very difficult issues through negotiations rather than on the battlefield.
All right, we're going to leave it there for now. William Davison joining us from Cambridge in the UK. Thank you.